Alright, let's unbox this thing. First of all, thanks to Hi-Fi Go for sending it out. Packaging's really nice, feels good in the hand. There's not a graph on the back, which is kind of disappointing. Wow, these IEMs feel really good in the hand. They're small, like the build quality feels good. It feels like it wouldn't have any major problems. The tips aren't necessarily bad, but they're probably the weakest part of the packaging. I personally just use Divinus, so it doesn't really bother me much. I think the case is one of the nicer cases I've had. You'll see me here put my QuietSea 5K into this, and it fits it well. Okay, this cable, I just wanted to say a little bit about it. I do think it's just a really nice cable. It feels good in the hand. It feels really premium. It feels like a nice cable that you would want to use and have, and it's super impressive, especially at this price range. It also has a nice chin slider. I like it. It feels good. It feels premium. I wanted to show you a quick comparison of two cases. This is the Audio Monarch Mark III case. It's a $1,000 IEM next to a $50 IEM. You can tell that they're very comparable. I like the case of the QuietSea. It feels premium. It is not a magnet to dust and debris like the Audio case is. Subjective sound. I feel one of the problems with this IEM is that there isn't enough bass, but the quality of the bass that is there is good. It does have a dynamic driver, so it sounds nice when you do hear the bass and want to have it there, but it feels like the quantity needs to be greater than what it is. I don't think its technical response is very good, and when I did try doing EQ with this IEM, I feel like it just didn't work. I'm not exactly sure why that might be. I'm still trying to work on things, but sometimes when I EQ, I find really good results. Sometimes when I EQ, I feel like maybe it's second order harmonic distortions that are just making the IEM worse. Maybe it's the shape, maybe it's something else. But I find that sometimes a good EQ profile will work, and sometimes it'll clean up two things and then make two things worse. And that's kind of the case that I found with this IEM. I found that the treble was a bit subdued. I thought the mid-range and on certain songs, like on certain classical music, this was really, really nice. And I really love this IEM on certain types of music, but not on all types of music. I feel overall this does most of my music well. Some of it really well, but some of it just doesn't feel like it's really great. Like a lot of, say, modern, more EDM style music that has a lot of punch, a lot of treble. It just doesn't seem to do great. This IEM does a lot of things well, like it does female vocals well. It does male vocals pretty well. It also does piano and instrumentals well. This IEM lacks punch and dynamics in rap and rock. Let's look at the Rose Technics QuietSea's graph. Sounds so funny when it comes out, doesn't it? All right, so if you look at it, the graph is pretty consistent. But if we combine them, you'll note there's a big dip in the bass for me. The mids are pretty good. The treble, it's okay. I like my treble a little bit more flat here, but this isn't a bad treble by any means. But yeah, it does lack a lot of bass energy. Its technical prowess is pretty good for the price, but it's not exceptional. So if we look at the 7 Hz sonus, and you'll notice that they have a little bit different energy. I feel like you look at this and the sonus feels like it would be a better one, but there's some different things about the sonus that I like and some things that I don't like. I feel like when I really raise this sonus up, like if I medium these up to, say, I don't know, 300 or so, normalize it, say 300 Hertz, and you'll notice that the sonus, because that's pretty much where I want to listen, at least for me, the sonus has a lot more treble energy, has some weird things going on with the vocals with this early spike over here. The Rose Technics just sounds a little, not thumpy, a little bit peaceful, a little bit quiet, a little bit relaxing. It's like kind of like the perfect IEM to fall asleep to. Makes me tired right now even thinking about it. At Crinacle Red. And if you look at these, Crinacle Red does have a little bit more bass. I don't know, QuietSea does come across okay. It's not bad. QuietSea's a little bit more flat. But yeah, the Crinacle Red, I feel like does have a little bit more bass energy. It does bass just a little bit better. Has a little bit more better technical elements in the bass. But I mean, the Crinacle Red has tons of problems that make it a troubling set, right? And so I think it's a compelling argument in some ways if you compare the value that you get with the Rose Technics QuietSea. Like, there's so much there to be had, whereas like it's a fairly smooth sound profile, and it's not perfect, but it comes pretty close to that quality and that level that's there. Like, I think the mids in the Rose Technics QuietSea are probably a little bit more pleasing to me. I feel like the Crinacle Red just lacks a lot of energy, and so when you finally get all this energy up to where I want it to be, it just doesn't feel like it really is really that perfect for me, although it's okay. But yeah, the Rose Technics QuietSea is a little bit treble forward. Like, if we compare it to, say, the Hexa right here, you notice that even the Hexa has a little bit more stronger bass. It has a little bit less treble. I feel like because of the driver technology, that the Rose Technics QuietSea doesn't have nearly as many problems with the treble. I think treble's kind of a funny thing. A lot of it depends on the driver quality and what's coming out. And I do think it comes across as a really well cohesive package. The details and image and separation on the Rose Technics QuietSea isn't very good, but it's pretty okay. It's pretty enjoyable, and it's nice to have in here.
Okay, let's look at these IEMs here. This being the Rose Tech, it's pretty good. I do enjoy it, but it is not perfect. It does kind of have this weird cable issue. Being MMCX, but it's not bad, right? And so there's a lot of good things going on here. The cable is really nice. The packaging is really nice. It's $50. Has a nice non-linear sound, and you can't go wrong. But while you got this guy, it's a lot more V-shaped, a little bit more shrill, a little bit shouty. This guy is a little bit more old school, just kind of a different flavor, a different feeling, a different presentation, if you will. And this guy, again, worst cable of the bunch. Nozzle's huge. It's really hard to kind of get into, right? I mean, we could talk about sets for a really long time about what they do and what they don't do. But the fact is that I think it's a competitive market, and I think this guy does really well. Sure, as the sonus goes, I might do a full review on this eventually, but I'm also thinking this is probably the one that I'm going to give away because I have the full packaging for it. So, when I look at these, I do feel that this IEM holds its own on its own rights. Like, it has a really nice characteristics that you want to look at and want to feel about. And I really do enjoy it, and I do consider it a strong IEM for its price. It feels good in ear. It's narrow, but it has this boxy, old school kind of dynamic driver feeling that I think is unlike something I've heard before, and I like it a lot. And I think it's something special. I think it's something that I wouldn't probably reach for that often. It's kind of like my personal take is that I want a linear sound, but if you want something with a little bit of pizzazz, something that kind of colors your music just a tiny bit and gives it to you in a way that feels like it's kind of coming out of a speaker. It has a definite kick and a definite feel to it. Best case, best and backs and process. Solid idea. And it's enjoyable to extreme. And it's something that it's just has this peaceful kind of a way about it, and I definitely recommend it. So that's something I highly encourage you guys to take a look at. To look at this. It's a great case. It's a fantastic cable. It's a fun MMCX cable where I feel like there's just not that many really good MMCX connectors, and so to have this low-key of an IEM that's easy to fit, easy to work with, and it actually fits and it gets me a good sonic characteristic, I think it's something to treasure. This is a great IEM. If you're in the market for a $50 set and you want something that's fun, that's engaging, that feels super premium, you can't go wrong with it.
While this is a good IEM, it maybe lacks to be a great IEM. It's extremely well packaged. It has good tuning, but I don't think it has great tuning. It seems a little bland and doesn't quite give an engaging experience good for all genres of music. It has good technicals, what you would expect out of the price. While this IEM is a good set, I don't think it's hyper competitive in IEMs that are above it in price. I think it's right. I think it's packaged just right for its sound at right around $50. I do enjoy it. I would recommend it, but I don't think it's one of those must-have IEMs. Like the $50 to $200 price range is a little bit challenging because it's not quite as good as an endgame IEM, and it's kind of competing with a space of IEMs that's hyper competitive and cutthroat at this time. Hey, thanks for watching to the end. If you guys have any questions or comments, please list them below and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Hey, thanks. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Go watch another IEM video. It's done. That's the entire video. What more do you want?